Capable of bringing out both the deepest sorrow and the purest joy, violins are known to close the gap between emotion and sound. An esteemed instrument across a range of music genres, not only do they sound enchanting, but the art of making violins is equally captivating. Italy takes an undeniable lead in the tradition of making these stringed instruments. The city of Cremona is often termed the world's capital of violin making, followed by Naples, Brescia, Milan, and Venice. There is a reason why musicians have complained about their performance blaming it on violins not from Italy. Such is the reputation of the place. Today, there are a few hundred workshops scattered all over the country that are carrying the centuries-old custom of making these fine instruments. We visited Pucino Gaetano in Italy, who has been making violins for 25 years. Gaetano took training in a workshop in Cremona and later started making violins in Naples, where his workshop has been situated since 1999.
Lavoro divertente, una mattina mi sveglio, vengo qua e faccio I violini.
Just like most stringed instruments, a violin is made of a top, a bottom, and a neck. The making of a violin begins with the maker, or luthier, designing it first. A wooden mold is required as a template. Each violin maker uses their mold based on different models of the instrument. This mold is used as a guideline to draw on the wooden plates that are cut using a bow saw. Wooden blocks are used around the mold. They are cut later and provide strength to the rib structure around the instrument. The top, also known as the soundboard, or the belly, helps amplify the sound of the strings. Luthiers love using spruce or val de fiemme for the top of the violin. Spruce is strong but light and offers perfect resonance. Different parts of a violin can have different sorts of wood. Gaetano visits Trento in Italy and sometimes Germany to source wood where he knows woodcutters for violins. The top is given a shape by gouging the surface. This is done by removing small parts of wood from specific areas of the plates. It is regularly checked for thickness across the surface as the measurements impact the output sound quality. This is an art that uses a lot of calculation and a sharp eye. The curves and contours of every piece require precision to bring out the instrument's own unique sound. Different sorts of tools are used for this purpose, including a steep scraper. The final result is a fine surface.
Voglio dire, oggi è anche un lavoro dove quasi forse non c'è più bisogno, perché forse ci sono più violini che musicisti, però può sempre uscire il violino più buono, quindi ha ancora possibilità di esistere questo lavoro.
The same process is repeated at the back. Rough arching of the back is done first using a large gouge. It is followed by smaller gouges and a little thumb plane. An expert violin maker works quickly and efficiently to quickly remove large amounts of wood with each sweep. The gouge marks are later smoothened. This may seem not too complex to a naive eye, but it involves a lot of experience. One mistake can ruin the whole piece. In the modern world of machines, computing, and automation, humans have missed something vital. That is the manual labor and the charm of working with hands, which bring a sort of tranquility that cannot be described.
Quando diciamo i propri pensieri, quelli di tutti, vanno belli veloci, il fatto di fare un lavoro dove sei impegnato con le mani e quindi ti trattiene diciamo, sulla terra, si muovono da quella sensazione di concretezza, cosa che succedeva pure nel passato, perché poi fondamentalmente ancora oggi il liutaio lavora come lavorava 3 secoli fa, il liutaio diciamo romantico oggi che produce dei violini un po' unici.
Then comes the Fholes. The Fholes are drawn on the top of the violin. A template is used to draw these shapes. An accurate place for F-holes has to be measured as it guides where the bridge could be placed in the next stage. The drawn shapes are then cut using a saw. This is a delicate step, as there are chances of saw splintering the surface, which makes all the previous efforts go to waste. Therefore, it must be done with extreme care. Sometimes an unskilled eye might look at a handmade violin and think that some parts are purely there for aesthetic value. But don't be fooled, every piece serves a function. Luthiers have just made them ornate to add to the beauty of this instrument. These F-holes help project sounds out of the instrument.
No, ma c'è qualche trapano in più che fa un buco elettrico e ti fa guadagnare 10 minuti, una sega che taglia il contorno che ti fa guadagnare una mezz'oretta, che come si dice, non toglie, non mette. Oggi il liutaio serio lavora, se si vede, si fa un giro su un banco, sono gli stessi attrezzi che oggi possiamo andare a visitare in un museo dove sono custodite botteghe settecentesche, stessi attrezzi.
The neck of the violin is usually angled, helping its player to comfortably hold it. The neck and the scroll are carved from a single piece of maple wood. It uses a template to draw over the wood, followed by arching and gouging until the desired results are achieved. It has to be fitted and aligned perfectly. Then each piece is carefully put together, making sure it fits just right. The spruce top, maple back, and side ribs are all fitted together in harmony. The sides, also known as the ribs, are usually made using a thin slice of maple wood. It is bent using various techniques that have details of its own. Then comes the installation of Soundpost, which is a wooden dowel inside the violin that transfers the vibrations from the higher two strings from the front to the back. Soundpost is the reason why the whole violin vibrates and makes a sound instead of just the top. It is also called AME in French and anima in Italian, which literally means soul. Once all the parts are fitted together in place, the violin maker selects a varnish, depending upon the wood used, the desired acoustic quality, and personal aesthetic taste. This top coat protects the wood of the violin from natural wear and tear. The varnish is applied in several thin coats and is left to dry in between every coat. And once the final coat is dry, the violin is polished.
È che questo lavoro comunque ti toglie tanta energia, paura, aspettative, però poi al momento giusto ti dona le soddisfazioni, per cui...
There are at least 70 pieces that come together to form one complete violin. Each part is individually crafted, which means that no two violins would ever be the same, and it makes it extremely complicated to industrialize the craft. Then comes the bridge. It's a thin piece mostly made of maple wood that sits on top of the soundboard. The bridge regulates the string's height and transmits the sound vibrations to the soundboard. In the end comes the strings and pegs. There is also a tailpiece located at the end of the instrument that holds all four strings in place. This tailpiece is connected to the end pin anchoring the tension of the strings. Various decisions are made, whether to use strong or elastic strings, what kind of tension it would possess, and what brand of strings will be used out of many that are producing them. It's a whole new world with details of its own. This marks the completion of a violin, and it is ready to be tested. A handmade violin maker produces no more than 3 to 6 violins a year, and sometimes even fewer.
Questo diciamo è un po' il mio percorso, con gli obiettivi di rimanerci ancora per un po' di anni, per poter svolgere questa professione, questo lavoro, fino a quando i miei occhi e le mie mani, ecco, me lo permettono. È più il luogo dove state allo spessore.
The violins of Italy have a history as old as the 16th century. But in recent times, Chinese manufacturers have learned many of these techniques and come up with ways to produce more units at much lower prices, making it severe competition for Italian makers. However, handmade violins are always worth more than industrialized ones and are preferred by professionals and serious players. Despite these challenges, the Italian luthiers continue to uphold the tradition, as for them, it's a story of passion and perseverance.
Diciamo, partono questi orgogli e più mi innamoro del mio lavoro e quindi lo voglio fare ancora di più. Sì, no, certo, io un po' vivo per questo lavoro, cioè un po' ha imbrogliato tutta la mia vita, ecco.
We hope you have enjoyed the documentary. We will reply to everyone in the comment section below. Please like, subscribe, and share the video.